Hey guys, it's Ginny Silver. I'm doing live EDD Q&A. I'm going to start at the 4 o'clock timestamp, and there aren't that many of you in here yet, so that's good. All right, where is 4 o'clock? I don't even know. Lost. I'm already lost. All right, Joel at 4 o'clock says oh wait, there. I felt insulted today when someone said I was a moocher and collecting unemployment when everywhere is hiring. It hurt me, yet all these places are paying far less than what my old job was. Yes, that's a big problem, and the media is starting to report on that more. Sorry, there's like one hair. The media is starting to report on that more as we're seeing states cancel federal level unemployment boosts, pandemic-related unemployment programs. So they're starting to pick up on the other side of that and report on that as well. So you guys are just going to deal with me getting fuzz off my face. So yes, it continues to be a problem for a lot of you. Continue to look, continue to apply. I'm really sorry that things are difficult. All right, Scotty got a job. You got a job. What are you doing? What's your job? What's your new job? Is it different from what it was before? I'm curious. So let me know and I'll look for your comment in a minute. Let me see. No, I'm good. That's something else. Okay, Andrew says, my aunt doesn't want to contact her assemblyman because she dreads the idea of sending her social security number. She's 9 weeks pending, but that's the only way they can help her, right? They need this info. Yes, so when you contact your assembly member, or if you're contacting your state senator, but most efficient are the assembly members, they need to have your customer account number, your social security number. The EDD liaison that they are connected with won't help them with your case if they don't have it. Now, the method that she gets it to them might be flexible. And I commented on your post on a video a few days ago about this, and then I edited it. She needs to get them that information, but she could ask if there's another method, because you mentioned in that post that she was uncomfortable sending it over email. So is she able to call in and speak to the office? Is she able to go down in person and submit it some other way in writing to them in person so that she feels more secure about it? Those might be other options for her, but she will need to submit it to them if she wants their help. All right, let me just make... Scotty's working at Chuck E. Cheese. That's awesome. I'm really glad that you got work. Good for you. All right. Jillian at 4 o'clock says, so does the fact that EDD says they will automatically extend people who haven't worked in the last 18 months mean other changes too? Example, quarterly checkups on claims past 1 year might ease. No, the EDD saying that they are eventually going to fix one thing or implement a new change does not by any means mean that they will implement other changes along with that aren't mentioned. It also doesn't even necessarily mean that they will implement that promised change within a certain period of time. They said that they're working. Let me recap for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about. On Thursday, the EDD released their weekly press release. And in that press release, they stated that they are working towards automating those who have reached the end of their benefit year who are UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed and who need to file a new claim but did not work at all in the last 18 months. They stated in that press release that they're working towards automating that so that they will submit the information needed in order to extend your old claim because you would not qualify for a new claim. They stated this was upcoming and that this is something that they will do in the future. This is problematic. They release this before they actually have a date for it because it's not something that's promised in a piece of federal legislation, like an extension or the MEUC boost or something like that, where you guys know that it's coming. Nobody knew that was coming. So they released this development, but they don't have a date. They don't have a time frame. So it's a little problematic that they released that. But no, I don't think it means that other things are going to be automated right now, unfortunately. Okay. Rasar at 4 o'clock. Have you heard that you can look up when you will get the IRS 10K forgiveness refund by going to the IRS website to look up transcripts. Mine says it's coming on June 7th. So I did hear that the other day, but because I have not looked into it, I didn't share it because I didn't have a way to verify it. So I didn't share that yet because I haven't looked into it, but I'm glad that you looked into it, and that's great. So next you'll have to let me know if it does in fact come on time. Oh, it's Mickey. Mickey, thank you, Mickey. You're so supportive, and I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right, Rocky at 4 o'clock. Do you think with everything the phone interviews being so delayed, they will just push everyone to paid and then start fresh on September 4th when everything ends? No, I do not think that they will do that. They're required by federal level guidance from the Department of Labor to have certain procedures in place, and they're held accountable to the Department of Labor. Now, with that being said, the Department of Labor isn't forcing them to do all of these things that are putting people in pending, but they do have a certain level of requirements in terms of fraud checks, collecting information, verifying information, things like that. So they won't just magically push everyone to paid. They, to a certain extent, they do have to complete the work items that they are so far behind in completing. So no, I do not think that that is something that will happen, unfortunately. Hopefully many of the issues that don't require a customer service rep, an interview, someone like that to push them along would eventually get pushed on their own. But someone has to process all of that work. They can't click a button and then have everyone move from pending to paid. Their backlog in the May revision of the budget stated that it's 11 million work items, and it will take 3.5 years to complete all of the items, which not all of it is pending payments, but a big portion of it is. And with the newly allocated amount of budget that they're hoping to allocate to the EDD, it will be done in a year. Now, everyone is also circulating the information that all of the pending payments will be paid by the end of summer. Don't sit and wait for your pending to move to paid. Call into customer service. Keep calling. I know it's difficult. If you can't get through, contact your assembly member or use Claimer if that's something that's right for you. Don't sit and wait for the EDD to do it automatically. Okay, let me see. Going up here. All right, Poison Garcia at 4:02. My balance on regular UI went to 0, but it's showing a date to certify in 2 weeks. Is that a good sign of the extension, or should I still call before that date if I have not gotten any letter or message? Okay, so usually what happens when your balance reaches 0, if you're UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, you reach a $0 balance. If you're within your benefit year, which means that 12 months after your claim start date, you are within that year, not beyond it, because that would be an expired claim. If you're within your benefit year, you're going to reach a 0, and then about a week later, you should receive an award letter notification that you have been awarded an extension. About a week after that, you'll be able to certify. If your balance says 0 after you receive the award letter, you usually are able to certify and then get paid, and your balance will fund after. Sometimes it comes after you certify, but you need to get the award letter first. If you're certifying on something and you haven't been awarded an extension, expect it to stay in pending. So with you, let's see, your UI went to 0 in 2 weeks. So if it has a date to certify, but you didn't receive an award letter, and it's been 2 weeks, then I would call into customer service. All right. Hi, James. Hi, Samuel. Let's see. Adelia says at 4:03, do we have to put work search history? So currently the work search requirements are waived. In order to be eligible, you have to be available, willing to accept full-time work, but you do not have to actively search for work. So you are allowed to skip over the work search history. You technically are allowed to click no that you're not looking for work, But the problem that I want you to be careful of is that if you choose to select that no, you are not looking for work, this is a big thing that can trip up the internal stop payment alert system in the EDD's internal computer system, which then requires you to have a phone interview. And the phone interviews are taking 6 to 10 weeks to schedule. So I still recommend that you look for work. And then you select, yes, I'm looking for work, and then you can skip over the work search history. All right, I need water, and then I will get Maria. That's not my water, that was a phone. All right. Maria says, haven't been able to get through to the EDD for Fed extension. Okay, so once you reach a $0 balance in your unemployment, you should have about a week, and then they should send you an award letter. It should be automatic if you qualify for Fed Ed. You also should be receiving a PEUC extension, which should not be exhausted yet, and you should be receiving that next. So no one has finished out their PEUC Phase 3 extension, which goes all the way up until claim week ending September 4th. So if you haven't received that one yet, you'll be receiving the next tier of the PEUC extension next. So once you hit 0, usually an award letter comes within about a week, and then a week after that comes the balance and the ability to certify. Now, the EDD has not been awarding these consistently within the last few months. So if it's been longer than 2 weeks, and you don't have that awarded to you yet, then you have to call in to EDD to try to get a hold of them. Now, you are saying that you cannot get through. Kat can post the link in the chat box right now of how to call TIP. She can post the link of how to contact your assembly member if you can't get through. She can post my Claimer link. Claimer is a service that you have to pay them because they're a third party, but they redial and then they send you a hold line. That works to get through. So try all of those things. And then you can also try, I recently posted a video this last week with 25 EDD phone numbers, but there's actually 26 because I counted them wrong. But it's 25 EDD phone numbers, and it's all the branch numbers. You don't have to live in that city to call that branch. So go to that video, call all of those numbers, and see if you get through. And then leave me a comment on the video and let me know if you get through. Is this line in the Metallica concert? Well, I wish it was. Joe Ramirez. It's been almost 2 weeks since I filed my second claim, and I'm stuck in pending as of 5/31. I called EDD, and they said they didn't see my app for a second claim, even though I had a confirmation number. Okay, so if they don't have your application, you called in, what did they tell you over the phone that you needed to do next? Did they tell you to file again? Because it sounds like you do need to file again. If they don't have your application, you called in, they confirmed that. If it were me, then I would submit another one. The system will stop you, or it should stop you, if you already have an active application submitted. So it should stop you if that's a problem. Rob. Well, ID, then review, then too many people in household, to emailed assemblywoman and man. Nothing, got any ideas. Okay, so you did ID review, and then there's too many people in your household, so you're stuck. You emailed your assembly members. You need to contact customer service. So if you emailed your assembly members, did you call them? If you haven't called them and you're just waiting on an email, call them. Make sure that you call them. If they're not writing back to your email, call into their offices, and their staff should be able to take your information and help you. In addition to that, you need to continue to contact customer service if your assembly member isn't helpful. And Kat should have she should have just posted all of the links to the videos. Yes, she did. So if you scroll up a little bit, you'll see all the helpful tips of calling customer service. And I know that it's difficult, but try them all. Now, the last thing is, because you have an ID verification issue, in my 25 phone numbers video, which Kat, can you pull that video? I think it's in the video description, and can you put it in the chat box? In the 25. Okay, I missed a sticker. Thank you, Kat. In the 25 phone numbers to call EDD, I share the ID department. So call that one and see if they're able to help you as well. Okay, I missed a sticker question because it didn't pop up. So Kat sent it to me. Tim Griffin, thank you very much for your donation. Tim says, PUA pending since 2/27. Customer service says, be patient. I emailed assembly member today without a social security number, but did give them my EDD account number. Will that suffice? It depends on what they asked you for. If they asked you for both, then you need to supply them with both. I believe that they asked for both, but if they're only asking you for one, then you should be good to go with whatever you sent them. Just make sure that you comply with what they ask for. Now, if you're worried about sending government employer social security number, the EDD is filled with customer service reps who can access and see your social security number. So it's already in circulation amongst government employees. So send it over if you want help and if they ask for it. All right, let me navigate back over to this spot. Joe Ramirez says, they told me to call tech support. And when I did, tech support said to call the claim department because they only handle tech-related issues. Okay, so tech support, yeah, so tech support handles things like if you're UI online, you can't log into UI online. That's a tech support issue. They're not going to handle those higher level issues, unfortunately. Now, Joe, I think this was your original question, and it was the second claim issue. If they're telling you they don't have an application from you, then file a new claim. Hold on one sec. I think my stickers aren't popping up. So Kat is sending them over to me. Thank you, Kat. Then I broke it. How do I use a phone? This newfangled technology. Old. Tracy Swanson, thank you for your donation. Hi, Ginny. My name is Tracy Swanson. I've received my first 11 weeks on the PEUC Tier 2 extension. So when I called, they said I'll be in a PEUX extension for 29 weeks. Which extension is this? Okay, so the PEUC extensions come in 3 different tiers. The first tier is 13 weeks, and it's called PEUC. After you get all the way down to 0, then you're awarded the next phase, which is the Tier 2 extension, also known as PEUX, and that is 11 weeks. After you get that one all the way down to 0, then you go into it's called Tier 2 augmentation, and it's the 3rd phase of PEUC. And if you call into customer service, they call it PEUY. Why can't they all just call it one thing across the board? Weird. But that's what the customer service reps call it. And then in your UI online, you'll see it noted as Tier 2 augmentation. That last phase of PEUC is up to 29 weeks, but it has a hard end date of claim week ending September 4th, because that's when the legislation ends PEUC. So that is when you will be able to collect that extension up until. Roberto, that is a large donation. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I don't see a question from you. I'm not sure if you have a question. If you have one, then type it in the chat box and Kat will send it to me. And if you're just supporting, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right, I'm scrolling down. Whoa, it's already 4:20. How did that happen? All right, got that one. Tracy at 4:04. How many federal extensions are available? I can't tell if I'm eligible for another extension or not. And of course, getting through on the phone is difficult. Okay, so there are 3. If you're UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, there are 3 different phases of PEUC extensions. And I just went through those, so hopefully you heard that extension explanation. But essentially, you'll be able to receive PEUC as an extension until claim week ending September 4th. After that, if the unemployment rate for the state of California is still 6% or above, doesn't dip down below that, there is a possibility that it can still be active if it's 5.5% and 125% higher than it was the 2 prior years, but that's confusing. So I'm just going to say 6%. the unemployment rate remains at 6% or higher, then Fed Ed extension will still be active. And if you were collecting UI, PEUC, then you can possibly qualify for a Fed Ed extension. I have a video on who qualifies for that on my channel homepage, and you can see the calculation there. So check out that video, but you might qualify for Fed Ed after that ends. All right, Ness at 404. Hello, I registered and I received my customer account number, but when I try to register for UI online, it says information does not match the records in our system. Okay, is this your first time getting unemployment, or did you file a new claim after reaching the end of your benefit year? If you are filing again because your old claim ended, then they're going to send you a customer account number, but also on that letter, it states if you already have one, disregard this letter. It's going to go to your old account number and it's going to reject the new one. If this is your first time and you don't have an account at all, then did you have either paid family leave or unemployment or disability, paid family leave or unemployment previously? Because if so, then that old account will be the one that you need to use. So if you are a brand new claim and it's not working to log in, then you will want to call, you can call customer service, but the faster way is going to be to call tech services. And I have that phone number in my 25 phone numbers video, which is linked in the video description. All right, let me see if I'm missing anything here. Let's see. Got that. Perfect. All right, you guys, I gotta scroll down. So as a reminder, as I'm looking for the next question, I can never get them all. You guys get very angry sometimes that I can't answer 2,000 questions in a live stream. I can't ever get them all. So if I don't get your question, just know that I get as many as I possibly can. Try asking it again every 15 minutes. So I'm at the 4:15 timestamp. ET says, are fall 2020 students now eligible for PUA? You need to be, if you lost your job due to the pandemic and you were self-employed, then you may be eligible for PUA, but you need to be able to accept full-time work. You need to be available for full-time work and be able to accept full-time work if you are claiming PUA. So as a fall student, I can't say that for you, but if you are very part-time and you lost your employment due to the pandemic and you're self-employed prior to the pandemic, then you may qualify. But if you're a full-time student, then most likely you would not be able to receive that eligibility, to meet that eligibility requirement. All right, Erica, thank you very much for your donation. My husband was just awarded his claim and has a claim balance. He just certified for 2 weeks. 1 week is excessive and the second week is pending. Any ideas? Okay, so if he certified on his new claim and it says excessive earnings, that means that he worked and he earned income and then he certified and claimed that income. If you earn a certain amount of income, up to a certain threshold, then you might be eligible to receive a partial unemployment payment. However, if you reach a certain threshold, you no longer are eligible because you are working and earning too much income. Now, if you are working and earning less than $100, the first $25 of what you earn doesn't get subtracted from your weekly benefit amount, but everything else does. If you earn over $100 in the week, then 25%, the first 25% of your earnings don't get subtracted from your weekly benefit award amount, but everything else does. So that's the calculation for that. Now, the next week being pending could be for a variety of reasons, but it might be because he claimed income on that 1 week and now is subject to do a phone interview to see if he in fact is still eligible to collect unemployment. So that's most likely what that is about. All right, Lucky Lottery. Will PUA get extended? PUA ends, claiming ending September 4th. Unless there is new legislation passed, new stimulus legislation, PUA ends September 4th. Even if you have a balance, it will end. Okay, Kat's sending me something. Okay. TL, thank you for your donation. Have you given any advice to individuals with loan out corporations? Like, is it ethical to draw a DD when you have your own loan out or S corp? Okay, so I can't give you loan information. Corp is not making. I can't give you loan information. I'm sorry. Leave me a comment when this video is done, and I'll try to see if I can help you. But I can't. I'm not a loan agent, so unfortunately, I cannot answer that question. All right, scrolling down. Mike D, my year is almost up. Is it better to call in, or do the new claim online? Right now, the phone lines are extremely jammed. Big problem. They have always been jammed. It's always been hard to get through. But it's up to you. If you know that you didn't work within the last 18 months, you know that you're going to have to do your new claim online, and then you're going to have to wait for them to process it, and then you're going to have to wait to receive a denial, and then wait to receive an award letter, and you want to try to call in to bypass that. Some of the claim reps will bypass that step for you and grant the extension. Unfortunately, not all of them are consistent, and more of them are seeming to say no to that. So you may want to file online, because you may spend an extreme amount of time trying to call into customer service, and then unfortunately, they might not be able to help you. So it may be a better fit for you to file online, but you need to decide that on your own based on that information. Okay, let's see. Nomo says, mentally disabled, bipolar on SSI, self-quarantine 2 times, not working since 2004. What type of claim can I do? It would be disability. If you have any sort of disability that prohibits you from accepting full-time work, and you aren't able to work due to that disability, I shouldn't assume that you can't work based on your statement. So let me correct that. If you are able to accept full-time work, but you haven't worked since 2004, you didn't lose your employment due to the pandemic. So you would not qualify for pandemic-related unemployment. You would not qualify for traditional unemployment because your prior employment wasn't since 2004. So you wouldn't be able to collect based on unemployment that was submitted from that job. So unfortunately, if you haven't worked since 2004, you would not be able to file for unemployment. Okay. Scrolling down, 417. All right, Jason Jones, thank you very much for your donation. Jason, I don't see a question from you, so if you have one, put it in the chat box and Kat will send it to me. All right, let's see. Kristen, should I be worried of phone interview after receiving a new award letter? So the thing to worry about with the phone interviews is how long they're taking to schedule them. Unfortunately, they can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 10 weeks, some reporting even longer. So the problem with phone interviews right now is that they're taking an extreme amount of time to schedule. You should not be worried about the questions that they're going to ask you, because they're just going to essentially confirm things that you probably already stated on your application. They're going to want to know why you were unemployed. If there's any sort of a dispute between you and your prior employer, they will want to clear that up. They want to know that you are available and willing to accept full-time work. So they're going to ask you these questions, but the problem is getting the phone interview, unfortunately. So if you're waiting longer than 2 weeks, then contact your assembly member in hopes that they might be able to help you get a response. Okay. Kristen, again, do I have to pay to go to a response? No, you don't. And Kristen again says, ugh. Well, Kristen, I just answered your message. I have about 2,000 questions that come in a live stream. There's no way I can get them all, but I did get yours. All right. Kiko Teak at 418. Hello, I want to ask for unemployment May 1st, and the first certification day was May 9th, and I still have pending. Do you think it will be paid soon or any reports soon? Okay. You applied for unemployment May 1st. First certification day was May 9th, and it's still pending. Okay, so if you certified on May 9th, for a new claim, they're going to be reviewing you with additional fraud checks during the first few weeks of filing a new claim. The new claim is sent out to a third party for review and additional fraud checks. That review should take up to 3 weeks, though unfortunately it can take longer, but EDD states that you should receive payment by 3 weeks. So May 9th, and it's been 3 weeks. So how long has it been for you? If it's been 3 weeks, 1, 2, 3. So you're just over 3 weeks. At this point in time, you might want to start calling into customer service just to make sure that there's nothing else needed for you. Unfortunately, when you call in and finally get through, they might tell you that it's still under review with the third party and all you can do is wait. If it were me, I would try to get through or contact your assembly member just in case there is something else needed. But most likely, because you're just above that 3-week deadline, most likely you're still under the new claim review. All right, let me make sure I'm not missing anything over here. Okay, Jason Jones, after getting a hold of a Tier 2, was told that she sent a more effective inter-office email to expedite scheduling my interview due to hardship. Is there any truth to this in your knowledge? I can't say. I'm not sure. To expedite it, we had to see. Come back and let me know how long it took. Remind me in a comment on a recent video once you do have a phone interview and let me know. Remind me your story and let me know how long it actually took you in the end. I can't say if they are actually trying to expedite this for you or if they're just saying that to get you off the phone and get the next person on, because there's nothing that they can do. There doesn't seem to be a lot that they can do to expedite these phone interviews, but I hope that they do expedite for you. All right. Alistaro at 418, thank you. I reapplied my claim online, found it never went through. Long story short, went over to an unemployment department, spoke to a representative. Would I still have to wait 3 weeks? Yes. Unfortunately, gosh, you guys, the number of times that I say unfortunately during these streams is irritating and sad. I'm sorry. So if they didn't receive your claim for whatever reason, even though it was through no fault of your own, they couldn't start processing it. So yes, I would anticipate 3 weeks still. OMG, Mike D. Allen at 419. I've had to certify for a month last week. After call, it said not paid and took my remaining balance. What a mess my claim is. I'm really sorry to hear that. So you had to call to certify for a month. And it says not paid, and it took your remaining balance. I'm really sorry. Contact your assembly member. Kat can drop the link in the chat box right now of how to locate and contact your assembly member. Contact them and get them helping you in hopes that they can help you. All right, let me update this. So see the most recent. Let me unpin this old message that was pinned to the top of the chat box telling you to hold your questions till 4. But then you guys don't hold them. Okay. Oh, that was a loud slam. All right. Back to questions. Intermission is over. I want to ask. I apply for unemployment. Okay, I already answered that one, my friend. So let's go down. Kristen again. Answer my question and I'll donate. Kristen, I already answered your question. You don't need to donate, but I answered it. Roberto. It's a tomato. Okay. Esther Martinez. Maybe I should pre-read these before I put them on the screen. How about that? All right, Esther Martinez. Hi, everyone. Can I go to adult school while being on EDD? So if you start school or training, the rules are tricky. I'm not 100% clear in the rules on this. I'm going to be very upfront about that because I want you to review them on your own. In general, you need to be able and willing to accept full-time work. But with that being said, there is a training extension program that the EDD offers as long as you apply early enough and you enroll in a full-time approved training program. You have to apply, I think it is 16 weeks. It's either 12 or 16 weeks into your claim in order to do this. So it's called the California Training Extension. So look into that and see if that might apply to you. All right, Anita at 420. Why do we have to deal with assembly member when it is Governor Newsom who appointed this EDD director? There is no excuse for not communication within EDD website email. This could be a 24/7. Yeah, so EDD is a problem. We all know that. But you can't communicate with the, you can send the governor feedback. But if you actually want to progress with your claim, the most effective who have really not across the board because they all vary in their dedication in this, but many assembly members have been very dedicated in doing something that is not essentially their job, and they are devoting a big portion of their staff members to working as caseworkers. So the assembly members have stepped up and have really been very helpful to claim it. So that's why we're encouraging contacting the assembly members. If you want to get things fixed, this is the next rung up the ladder from EDD that you are reaching to, the California state lawmakers who represent you. And many of them have been very helpful. So yes, let your issues be known to the governor's office. But if you want to actually make progress with your claim, I do recommend contacting your assembly member. All right, 978-2511. Yep, that's the EDD customer service phone number. All right, scrolling down. Let me see if I missed anything. I don't know why my stickers aren't coming through, but Kat's sending them to me. And I think I got them all. And I think I need water, so you're going to just wait. Jennifer S., 437. My claim was under review for 5 weeks. I contacted my assembly member and the certification finally paid. Will weeks be paid now going forward, or will they go back into pending status? It depends. Many of my subscribers tell me that based on why you were stuck in pending, you may still have to call in. I have some subscribers who receive certain supplemental payments, things like that, if they received any sort of benefits from their job that were paid out, things like that, that do trip up the system every single time. But many people, once they fix that pending certification, they may not be stuck in pending anymore. It all depends on why, and it depends on what the EDD needs from you, unfortunately. So I can't say. All right. Nomo, thank you very much for your donation. I don't see a question from you, so if you have one, then put it in the chat box, and Kat will get it to me. Okay, Kat sent me this from Jessica. Jessica says, phone interview hasn't been scheduled for 5 weeks now. I contacted EDD and assembly member by email and call, and nothing is there. Anything else I can do? Okay, so phone interview hasn't been scheduled for 5 weeks. Most people, unfortunately, are reporting between 6 weeks and 10 weeks to receive their phone interview scheduled. This is an unacceptable amount of time, but it's the generalized consensus of what people are being told by the customer service reps and how long they're actually waiting. Now, you are waiting 5 weeks. You have contacted EDD and your assembly member. Did the assembly member write back to you? If they didn't write back, then call into their office. If they did write back, then unfortunately you just have to wait. This is one of those things that I'm trying to bring to the attention of the media. And I posted a video on this the other day just to gather information, and one reporter that I've been talking to already picked it up. So I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying to bring your issues to be heard. Mike D says, are we ever going to meet your husband? He's with the kids. He's downstairs with the kids. He has old YouTube videos where he does weird science things with my kids. All right, I'm scrolling up. I need to find the next question. As a reminder, you guys, I can never get all the questions. I do as many as I possibly can. All right, I'm at 427. Kim says, I have funds and weeks still on my claim. Certifications are not automated. I have to call in every week and they manually release certs, but they don't fix automation. Been up to tier 2, all above drop. Okay, yes. So as I just went over that same problem for someone else as an example. Unfortunately, if your certifications, let's see, you have to call in every week and they manually release certs. So I guess that is a different problem than getting stuck in pending repeatedly. Your problem is that your certifications are not populating. This has been coming up more and more recently. Within the last 2 weeks, I've had a lot of reports from individuals telling me that they are not having their certifications populate. So if you're UI or Fed Ed, try to see if you can call in and certify using telecert. That works for some and not for all if they don't see their certifications populate. Additionally, can you request paper certifications instead of being defaulted to online only? You can set this as a preference in your UI online. You can request it through Ask EDD, but try to see if you can switch over to paper certifications if that's something that is happening for you over and over again. Patsy at 427, thank you very much. My daughter is adorable. Thank you, Patsy. I really appreciate that. I have 2 kids. I have my son who is 6 and he moves fast. And then Nora is 3. All right, I'm missing something from Kat, my assistant, sending me all the super stickers that aren't popping up. All right, no mo. I sold on OfferUp, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, but couldn't do to stay-at-home order. Can I file for EDD? So if you sold in online marketplaces, then you're self-employed. As long as you filed proper taxes for that self-employment, you filed your Schedule C as a self-employed income earner, then you would be able to have documentation that you are self-employed. You paid your taxes, then you are eligible to file for PUA. So yes, you will be able to file for PUA if you had loss of income due to the pandemic. So yes, file, apply. They're going to ask for your proof of income. So you'll need to have your Schedule C handy. Okay, I need water. I need to make sure I'm not missing things. Baby Ginny kids. Such a show on drinking. It's a big cup. It's awkward being live. I spill it half the time. That's why there's such a big show on drinking, so that I don't spill it all over myself. You asked a question. Well, my friend, this is the one that I see from you. I'm sorry. All right, Shauna A. at 429. My husband has not been paid since December. He was flagged for ID verification. The secondary form was not accepted, and a rep told him the fastest way to get paid was for him to disqualify him. And what, my friend? What happened? Okay, so that's odd. If he's flagged for ID verification and then he was able to get in contact with a representative, it sounds like they're working on it and that they are evaluating him somehow. He could be, if he was flagged for ID verification, did he submit the ID verification and it didn't submit properly or it wasn't approved? I'm not quite sure exactly what the issue was there. I'm sorry. All right, Jason Cash says claimer is the way to go. Finally extended. Stay on the phone for 3 hours, though. Okay, I'm really glad that worked for you. Kat, can you drop the claimer link in the chat box right now? If you guys are fed up, you want to pay a third-party service, claimer will redial for you, send you the hold line. And then, yes, you unfortunately still have to sit on the hold line. But if your call is dropped, then they will send you callbacks until you actually do connect. So I have information on that. I have videos on that. And then the link that Kat dropped saves you $5 on the service. Okay, I already did that one. Thank you. Scrolling down, you guys. So it's 4:45 right now. I'm at the 4:32 timestamp. If I didn't get your question, you can re-ask it every 15 minutes. Kingdom Shifters. Hello, Ginny. I'm in benefit year and do have the email for Tier 2 PEUC, but balance is still 0. So if you had it awarded and it was an actual award letter saying the amount, not just you may be eligible, because that's not an award letter, then within a week after receiving that award letter, you should be able to certify, and then at that point in time, your balance should be increased. So sometimes it will have you certify at a 0 balance, but if you've already received the award letter, then you should be good to go. If you do not receive the award letter within 2 weeks, or if you're not able to certify within 2 weeks after reaching 0, then call customer service. All right. Blaze and Spit and Fire says filed an amendment February 27th, still no stimulus. So what did you file? Was it the Cal EITC form that you have to mail in if you didn't claim it? Maybe I think that might be what you sent in. In that case, then you're going to be waiting a while until after they process it. They're going to process it, and then let me see. So after you send it in, I'm pulling up this table real quick because I don't have the dates memorized. Where is it? See it there. So if you filed your return after April 23rd, you already filed a return, but you didn't file the form needed to obtain the stimulus. So assume that this is you because you didn't file that form. You're going to wait up to 45 days after that form has been processed for a direct deposit. So if you sent it in, you got 45 days to wait, unfortunately. Let's see, Anthony, 433. When will people on SSI get California stimulus if they didn't file taxes? So this is dependent on your zip code. If you're on SSI and that's how you're obtaining the Golden State stimulus, then there is going to be a payout schedule based on your zip code. I have a video on this that shows you the chart on screen, and I can't read them all. I'm not going to read them all right now. So look for, or Kat, can you find the video to my SSI most recent video and put it in the chat box for Anthony so that he can see when? And I have this link right here. So I'm going to post this link here as well for you, Anthony, so you can look up the chart. Hopefully that posted. Okay. Scrolling down. Kingdom Shifters, thank you very much for your donation. All right. Scrolling down, I'm at 434. Charmaine says, hello, Ginny. I've certified more than 10 days